Hey, what is up, YouTube? It has been a while.
We're talking about some new cards that got spoiled today. And first one is Trickster Belladonna, or Bella Madonna. So she is a Link 4 light fairy monster, 2800 attack. Links are top, right, bottom left, and bottom. And she requires 2 or more Trickster monsters, and you can only use the second effect of her once per turn, and it's a hard once per turn. While this Link Summon card does not point to any monsters, it is unaffected by activated effects from other cards. If this card doesn't point to any monsters, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each Trickstar monster in your graveyard with a different name.
That's actually pretty beast. It could be a
So,
finisher in itself.
so, well, it seems like a good card. I don't like the design of it. I don't like the idea of being punished for using my link zones with a link monster. And it says as long as it doesn't point to anything. Alright, so link zone card does not point to any monsters. It and everything. The problem I hate about this too is that your opponent can make sure that those effects are completely useless. It's not like because it points up, so they can put a monster in that zone and be like, well, affected by it, and then you can't get the burn effect either. So, I
What
like
you're
the
overlooking is that this card makes extra link easier. Look at its arrows.
yeah, no, I get that, right? It it does get, but I hate the idea of what the like. It makes extra link easier, but you're playing it in a deck that doesn't use its link monsters very well or very much, and it the new support will probably gear it towards that, which we'll talk about as now. But enough about Bella Madonna. I think that it's a good card, but I hate the idea of punishing you for using its link zones.
I guess, but if you look at Trickstars as a whole, I mean, they really don't end on that many link monsters, so it's
Yeah.
more like a finisher card, it looks like.
All right.
So, moving on.
Trickstar Mandrake. It's a level 1 or level 2, 0 attack, 1000 defense, light fairy, like all the tricks. All the tricksters are light fairies. With an effect, you can only use its first and second effect once each turn by name, so it's hard. It's a hard once per turn. If this card is sent from the hand to the graveyard, you can special summon this card in face-up defense position, but banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for a link summon of a Trickstar monster, you can target one monster, a link, or yeah, you can target one monster, a link monster your opponent controls points to, and destroy it.
Well,
Oh.
it's discouraging your opponent from using their link zones too.
Yeah, no, I like this card. I definitely think that this is.
Oh yeah, no, this is pretty good. I can understand that, but
I
I
think
can
that
see what your other one was bad about.
yeah, but like, so I like this card because if it seems like what they're wanting to do with the Trickstar archetype is kind of push you to use the link monsters more, and I think that this card and the next card that is down the list is definitely a good step in the right direction.
Trying to get rid
Because
of the gimmick of the deck of you don't get no hand and you don't get to play the game.
I forgot to send you the link of the of another Trickstar, but they're getting their own Honest too. That has a Cyber Dragon like effect too.
I think I remember seeing it in the group, but
Yeah. But anyway, we're gonna move on. I think because we both like this card. I think it's good if you want to play Trickstars more like as a link deck than the normal loop your hand, lock you out, burn style. So if they ever hit reincarnation, it looks like they're pushing the deck to be like, hey, you can play still, which is
well, it's
good.
hit over in Japan, so
Yeah. Uh, Trickstar Hensbane or Trickstar Nightshade from 4K Media. Level 1, 100 attack, 0 defense. If this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, as material for a link summon for a Trickstar monster, you can special summon this card from the graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. It's a level 1, so you can 1-for-1 it out. It's since they have their own Cyber Dragon that special summons itself if you only control Trickstar monsters, or if anything like that. This card promotes them link summoning more, which is great. Like I said, if you want to play a more spammable like link summon version, I think that's fantastic that they're making these.
Yeah, you can link, and then go into Link Rebo with this, right?
Yeah. And then it gets banished, but yeah, or it's like these two cards are like trying to help you get out Bella Madonna, right? Like it's just trying to like get you extra monsters so that you can freaking get out the Bella Madonna, because it definitely does seem like Bella Madonna is supposed to be their boss monster, their end-all finisher. But so far, I really like the Trickstar cards. I think that they're all good in their design.
Yeah. Well, at least the newer ones.
Yeah. Alright, moving on. Goki, the Master Ogre. So it's a Link 4 Earth Warrior, and its link zones are top, bottom left, bottom, and bottom right. And it requires requires 2 Goki monsters. Or more. So 2 or more Gokis. Once per turn, quick effect, you can return any number of Goki monsters this card points to, and then target that many face-up cards your opponent controls. Negate the effects of those cards until the end of turn. 2, this card can attack all your opponent's monsters once each. While your opponent controls a face-up monster or monsters, this card can only attack or can only target the monster with your. It can only attack the one with the highest attack. So to clarify, what it does is it has to start at the top and work its way down, because it wants to fight the strongest, and then it wants to fight everyone, but it wants to start with the best.
Think of it as like what is it? One of them Japanese animes where it's like you fight the leader, but then you fight the leader's protege, and you fight the leader's protege's protege, then you fight your way all the way down. Or like in a wrestling match, usually they put the strongest guy versus them, and then they like wrestling and boxing, it's like strongest guy against him, then a weaker guy, then a weaker guy, then a weaker guy.
So its first effect, I think, is pretty great. The ability to negate cards and stuff, it's fantastic. Although I don't like that. I kind of hate that you have to return the Goki monsters to your hand, but that's perfectly fine.
It gives you ways to use that Feast of level 6, though, because it feels like their Goki monsters are coming out with more of the level 6 ones, so it actually gives you more access to that card. The Feast of level 6 is what it's called.
It's like Wild Feast at level 5 or something
like that.
Level
5, yeah. My bad.
So, and then its second effect, the only downside I can see about the second effect is if you don't have any Goki monsters to return with its effect, and they have a monster that their highest monster cannot be destroyed by battle and everything, so you attack that, and then you can't attack all your opponent's monsters because it has to attack the one with the highest, and then they can only attack one each. So that's the only quote-unquote downside about the second effect, but other than that, that seems more like a very rare occurrence.
This card plus Moon Mirror Shield.
Boom. It only loses 100. They only lose 100 for each monster, but it's worth it. All right. I'll move on to Goki Octostretch, I think is its American name. Level 1 Earth Warrior. 0 attack, 0 defense. You can only use the third effect of this card's name. It's a hard once per turn for the third effect. First effect, if an opponent's monster attacks during damage calculation, you can discard this card. Have the battle damage you would take from that battle. Okay.
Neat.
When your opponent, second effect, when your opponent activates a card effect that would inflict effect damage to you including during the damage step, quick effect, you can discard this card and have the effect damage you would take. If this card's sent from the field to the graveyard, as its third effect anyway, you can add a Goki card from your deck to your hand except itself.
Huh.
So it helps keep you alive, and it helps with burn damage and everything, and like
I'm not sure
I'm having a
about this
hard time
one.
evaluating this card because it's one of those cards that it seems good, but it also seems like a trap.
Do they have any
Or
level 2 monsters that you can, what's that card that pretty much levels them up?
transmodify?
Yeah, Transmodify. Sorry, my brain is scattered.
I don't think they have a level 2 yet. I know they have a 3.
A 3, a 4, and a 5.
Yeah, and then they also have a 6, where they're gonna get a 6. But you wouldn't use its effect, the search effect. I think this would be more for the have the hand trap aspect of it. And in which
It
case,
gives you more targets for rematch, too, so...
yeah, I think that this card is fine, but at the same time,
Oh, with the boss
it
monster, if
seems.
you bounce this card back to your hand, if you resolved a rematch, it'd actually be pretty good.
Oh yeah, when you put it that way, yeah, this card's pretty great then, because you use it and everything. Also, in the Trickstar matchup too, freaking. Oh wait, no, it's not an effect that deals the damage to you. Never mind then. As I say, you discard this card and everything to have the damage, but it's not an activated effect that does it, so you can't chain it, and this card will get looped anyway. Oh well. Anyway, we're gonna move along. I think it's a fine card, I guess. Goki Hugbear. This card is normal or special summoned by a Goki. Oh yeah, it's a level 6 Earth Warrior, 2400 attack, 0 defense. All the Gokis have 0 defense and are warriors and Earths, but level 6, 2400 attack. If this card is normal or special summoned by a Goki card effect, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes half of its original attack until end of turn. And then it has the same Goki effect of if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a Goki card from your deck to your hand, except for itself, and both effects are hard ones for turns.
Makes sense with Gokis. I guess this just gives you another target to transmodify into, but I don't know. Do they have any ways to really get this card out? Well, yeah, I know they have a Scorpio, don't they? Is that the right one, or they have the one where they can special summon one Suprex? Yeah.
Your Scorpio is the one that is the worst Saber Dragon. Your opponent controls. If you control no monsters, or if your opponent controls monsters and you don't, or if all monsters you control are Goki monsters, you can normal summon it without tribute. That one's a level. The one I just mentioned is a level 5, but I honestly don't think you would run this card unless you are playing the Transmodify version, and even then, I don't think it's really worth it. I think that it would just be stuck in your hand most times, and if you do end up playing it, it'd be like a one of or two of. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of level 5 or higher monsters that don't have a way of getting themselves out for free, or that don't have like hand trap utility.
Oh, we can move on then.
Yeah. Alright, Goki Face Turn. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Target one Goki card you control and one Goki monster in your graveyard. Destroy the first target, and if you do, special summon the second target from your graveyard.
So, yeah, they get their effect to search, and then you get to special summon something. So you can go, this card, destroy your Goki, get another Goki, get a rematch, get back the Goki you just destroyed with another card in the grave.
And then Link Summon.
Link Summon?
And and you link summon for like 3 at least, and then you end up with and then you get like 2 more searches probably.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna get the one that you popped with that searched you, but you are gonna get the other 2, assuming that they were already in the graveyard, or that the one that you summoned out was you haven't gotten its effect either. So you're getting 3 searches at least that turn, which I think is fantastic.
Requires a little setup though, but nothing Foolish Burial's not going to fix.
Well, that's the thing, is 1 Foolish Burial gets you there. Because all you need is Foolish Burial. Okay, so all you need is a Goki face turn, and a Foolish Burial. And then it sets up the whole play for you. The other 2 cards in your hand don't really matter at that point, so they could be Strike or Warning. Because destroying the card and everything and switching it out, actually, I don't think that works very well.
No, you still have to have a little bit of setup. There's still a lot of setup, but
I don't know. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's probably a recovery card.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
Alright, so also we're going to talk about some of the new cards from Premium Pack 20, including a new hero monster, which is exciting because heroes are a fan favorite archetype. Extra hero, Wonder Diver. Link 2, Light Warrior. 1900 attack. Links are top and bottom. 2 hero monsters. You can only use this card's name of effect, first effect per turn, once per turn, and mention itself by name. If a hero monster is normal or special summon to your zones that this card points to, target a fusion or polymerization spell or quick change, quick play spell card in your graveyard and set it to your field. Its second effect is if it's destroyed by battle, or if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 hero monster from your hand.
Huh.
I hate this card.
Yeah, I didn't really see it and like it. I'm maybe not seeing the big picture because I'm not really a hero player, so I'm pretty sure there's a lot of hero players that really like this card or are excited about it, but
I know our friend Martin liked it because he commented yes on it when I shared it to our group, but I think that I would have loved this card. I would have been like, it's great, it's fantastic, I don't care what its effects are, I don't care what it does, if it's link zones or bottom left and bottom right.
Or if they made it a dark type, because then you could just switch it out for... Oh no, Mass Change doesn't work on links, does it?
Oh no, it doesn't. Wait, yes it does. Regular Mass Change would work on links, because it just... You send a hero monster you control to the graveyard. Mass Change the second one would work on it.
Ah, okay.
But, because Mass Change the second requires levels, and this isn't the level. Anyway, yeah, if it was bottom left and bottom right, I would have loved it for my Destiny Hero deck, because then it would have been any 2 monsters, and then I get to go into my crazy combos and everything, and without having to rely on Gofu. Which I hate Gofu as a card, by the way. But that's a whole other topic. So yeah, I think this card was close to being relatively good. Even if it was as long as it opened up 2 zones for me, I would have loved this card. I didn't care if it was bottom left, bottom right, just bottom and then bottom left or bottom right. I wouldn't have cared. But the fact that it gives 1 to my opponent and it doesn't even have that great of an effect and everything, in my eyes, I just can't see... I don't see it, like, the worth of it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't even encourage extra link or anything either. It just...
Yeah.
Maybe they'll come out with something that works with it, though.
Maybe. White Aura Monacaros. So this is a part of the... There's a whole, like, cycle of these that came out recently, and it's this little... it starts with this little dolphin-looking thing, and then it evolves into, and then you synchro summon with it, and then it gets into a bigger one, and then it says if it's special summoned from the graveyard, it's treated as a tuner. So you synchro summon to a bigger whale, and then the bigger whale has that same effect, and everything. And I don't remember what its first effect is, but they're basically trying to get you to go from the baby into the biggest thing. And this is part of that archetype, and I've used it on you, Stefan, in one of our duels before we were really recording, and I was like, I did it. But, so, it's a level 7 water with 2,500 attack, 1,500 defense. Materials, 1 water tuner, plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. If this, you can only use its first effect once per turn. When this card is synchro summoned, target 1 fish in your graveyard special summon, but it cannot attack this turn. If this card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, by battle, or by card, actually. No, not card effects. So destroyed by card and sent to the graveyard. You can banish one other water monster from your graveyard, special summon this card, and if you do, it's treated as a tuner. So all the white aura cards, all their synchros do that, where you banish a water from your graveyard to special summon it back, but it's now a tuner.
Seems good.
Yeah.
I'm sure some deck will find a way to use it for something.
So the only thing that are actually like kind of baddish about like this whole the white aura deck is that, or the white aura synchro monsters, is there's not really a deck to utilize it very well, because like the only deck I could think of that could would be Mermails, and Mermails aren't gonna care for this card. Mermails are gonna go meh.
OTK, go.
Yeah. So yeah. Besides that, I think they're cool. I think the concept is cool. They also have a new trap card and a new spell card. One's called White Salvage. So White Salvage is, you can only use its first effect per turn, hard once per turn. No, this is continuous spell card right here. You can target 1 fish in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Okay. If this card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can take 1 fish monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it.
That actually seems like decent.
Man. So, getting a fish back from your graveyard to your hand is, at every turn, that seems strong, but my problem is like I said, what deck wants this?
Sharks, man. Maybe shark type.
The shark archetype?
They're called shark type.
Okay. Anyway. Like, what makes this card good is if they destroy it, to be like, you don't get your fish back from your graveyard to your hand, whatever fish and everything. You just get whatever fish that you wanted from your deck.
Yeah.
So like there's no way to stopping it, and it honestly kind of would feel bad to be on your opponent's side playing against this card if there was a viable fish archetype to come out and everything. That's just like, this card is where this card would be loved in.
It all takes setup, Michael. Don't worry, it'll happen.
Yeah. All right, so overall, White Salvage, good card. For a fish archetype that doesn't exist yet. White Howling, normal trap card. If you control a water monster, you can target 1 spell card in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, and if you do, for the rest of this turn, negate all spell effects on your opponent's side of the field.
Wait a minute. Paleozoics can use this, can't they?
Yeah, they can. Paleo frogs.
Wow. That's just more negation. I was going to make a joke about it being like White Howling and, being like a super racist card, but I kind of like it now.
I think it's just like, I feel like this would be more of a sideboard card though. Like you'd board it in against someone that's like, well, look at all my spell cards and I'm going to lock you out with them.
Not
And
really. A lot of Paleozoic decks will run anti-spell fragrance main board.
it's not once per turn.
Yeah.
Or it's not until the end of turn either.
It's for the
Oh my
rest of
god,
this turn.
Okay. I'm used to being at the very end to be like, negate all spell cards on your opponent's side of the field until the end of this turn, but okay. I was gonna be like, oh my god. Like,
No, it's. I guess it has its uses, but it's also it's a tricky card, but it's also a good way to out Twin Twister. I feel like at this point because, well, no, not even that really does it.
well, okay, so it depends on
What they've
what
done
they ban.
already. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because, like, you can get someone on your first turn with this card, or on your opponent's first turn, assuming they discard a spell card, because discard is cost, they target their thing, then you respond. If you have a water monster, let's say you made Toad, right? And you don't want to use Toad's negation on a Twin Twister. So you flip this, and you banish the card that they discarded, and then it negates, so that this card will resolve first, and it negate the Twin Twister and everything, and you just negated the Twin Twister essentially for free. But I think that I think I was looking at this card and I was just like, yeah, no. And then when you said Paleos,
then you can trigger your Paleozoics and bring one back.
yeah.
I mean,
So
it's a trap. Almost every deck in Yu-Gi-Oh at this point in time uses spell cards. In the mirror match, it also gives you a card to swap out.
It also seems like a lot of decks are going towards water. Again, I don't know. Like, it just seems like water's a decent attribute. It has a lot of support. So, like, I feel like White Howling is a pretty good card in that aspect too.
Oh yeah, I like this card.
All right, so yeah, that was our cards. That's the new cards. So I think, at least out of the newest cards, the ones that will probably have the highest impact are the Trickstars, and hopefully they do, because I'd like to see that deck go from this kind of gimmicky deck that is pretty consistent at doing its gimmick, to more of a Link deck. I don't know, that maybe that's just a personal preference, but yeah.
Alright, I mean, that's all we have for today, so catch you guys next time, and happy birthday to anybody whose birthday it might be today. Yeah, that's our new thing.
If it's your birthday, happy birthday.
Later.